The Mojave Desert is ruthless, and a lot of times people can go missing and vanish without a trace. And sometimes they're never found, but sometimes they need a little bit of help to be found, and I'm gonna need your help. Now, we all know the story of Kenny Veach. For those of you that already know, you can skip to here. But for those who don't, I'm gonna give you a quick overview.
Kenny Veach was an avid hiker and explorer known for being fearless and having a love for the great outdoors. He gained popularity through his YouTube channel, where he shared his experiences of hiking as well as his inventions. One day, while exploring the outskirts of Nellis Air Force Base, Kenny stumbled upon a strange cave formation that he called the M Cave. He claimed that upon approaching the cave, he felt an intense and vibrating energy that made him to turn back because he didn't bring his weapon. He didn't know what was in there, and he was scared as anyone would be if they felt that. People on YouTube didn't believe him, but Kenny was determined to prove to them the existence of the M Cave. He embarked on a solo expedition to find it again with his camera and his weapon, but he had no luck. He uploaded the video to his YouTube. Many people in the comments called him a liar and said he was probably lying, except a commentor known as Lemi, Killmister. He told him,
"No, don't go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out."
Kenny asked him why, but he never responded. That weekend, Kenny took his weapon, his photo-only camera, and headed back out. Sadly, he never returned from this final journey. Despite extensive search efforts by authorities and volunteers, no trace of him was ever found, except for his phone and some change. As you can tell, this won't be your usual Kenny Veach bedtime story. I studied this case for years because I related to Kenny's love for exploration and hiking. He almost seemed like a friend. I also enjoyed hiking in the Mojave since I was 9. This case drew me in because there were huge missing links that just didn't make sense. Just as I was about to give up, just like many who've hiked hundreds of miles, I found something undeniable that caught my attention. Kenny's scent stopped at the mine shaft that his phone and change were found at. A YouTuber named SB Vegas Adventures went down into the mine shaft to look for clues to Kenny's disappearance. And that was when I noticed a comment from a middle-aged man who seemed to enjoy creating exploring content. He stated,
"I was in this mine in 2010. You'll notice the shaft has been collapsed on the right. It wasn't collapsed in 2010. The tunnel went about 30 yards deeper and was hollowed out. It's pretty obvious he went in and it collapsed on him. If you dig it out, I'm confident you'll—"
Hold up! Put your shovel down! There's got to be a much safer way to go about this than digging up a cave-in because we don't want to risk lives. I thought there had to be a way around this. That's when I finally had an idea. My family was buried in a makeshift cemetery in Arizona. This cemetery went viral when researchers found 32 unmarked bodies buried well over 20 feet or deeper in the area that had been there for well over 100 years. They claimed they scanned the ground. So I asked myself, could this method be used to help us find Kenny Veach? The mine shaft is deep after all. So I researched the machine used. It's called a GPR. It stands for Ground Penetration Radar. Yeah, I know, penetration, but put simply, it's basically an X-ray for the ground. This machine can scan up to 100 feet into the dirt, less in cement and other material. The caved-in shaft is only maybe 30 feet deep at most. Also, the GPR machine can only weigh between 3 pounds to 50 depending on the model. At most, an ATV would be needed to carry it out there. So lastly, I know what you're thinking. What's stopping you? Why do you need my help? I'm glad you asked. I'll give you back to see Kai and let him explain.
Thank you, Grace. Now you see, the only problem is a GPR machine can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000, and renting one is about $500 a day to $1,000 at the most. But I don't know how much getting a service rented out for it is, but the professionals come and do all the work for you. And basically, I'm broke and I'm not gonna ask for money. So we need to either ask a forensic anthropologist who might be watching this video, or the Historical Society, because they already have one that they purchased and use for things like checking out cemeteries and whatnot. There's 3 different ones for cemeteries, forensics, and nobody's interested like that. Alright. What was it? And for Susan Veach, Jeff Claw, and J Chuck, I hope this video finds you well. I don't mean any harm. I'm just trying to help find Kenny as soon as possible. And honestly, I just think he's buried there, potentially. I mean, if he's not and the search yields nothing, then I'm gonna go back to the still alive theory, but that's just me. Okay.
And don't forget
to subscribe and comment what you think.
And
Sika out. This isn't the Lightbulb Guys.